Hey y'all, it's Renegayde, and let's spill some Reali-Tea on RuPaul's Drag Race UK. Season 7 is on, you lucky cows, so make sure you like and subscribe for more, as you're not going to want to miss a single spot of content this season. On this episode, Season 7 continues to Season 7, as a smutty acting challenge not only continues to push forward certain queens, while pushing other queens out of the spotlight, but they're also trying to push that Alan Carr is sexy, and no ma'am, I am not buying this trash anymore. But before we dive in, let me introduce my co-host, and he also can't tell if Michelle is laughing at him, with him, or something in between. It's QuackerrJack!
Girl, the laugh track is just being kept on the whole time, so no one knows what's happening.
I mean, it was just like the challenge, honestly. But Jack, I have one question. It's been weighing on everybody's mind. It's the burning question of the season, and I just need to know. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna ask it. How's Pokemon Legends ZA? Because I am doing everything I can to put off talking about this season, because I am hating this season right now.
It's one of the only good things going on right now because it sure is not UK7. UK7 is just like every other kind of like letdown season ever. It's so overly produced, so overly rigged, so overly poorly done. Even the runways bad. Like half of the categories have been terrible. Let's not act like they weren't. And then they're not even judged correctly and you know what? Drag is subjective because it's art, whatever, right? But there's some shit that goes through here, and I just know they're playing in everyone's face right now.
I
I
was
think they're
gonna
playing in all of
say,
our faces.
we already knew the Queens of Color were gonna get rigged against, right? But I
Always,
didn't
every
think that
UK7.
everybody in this cast was gonna be catching strays. This judging is literally all over the place, and it makes no sense at all whatsoever. Just ugh, I- ugh.
Oh my. Who
Yeah.
knows?
And then on top of it too, and I don't feel like the problem is the queens themselves. I do
No,
feel
it's not.
like I said, the first 15 minutes of the first episode, when we got to meet all the queens, I was really excited for this group. And I do think that they are talented. I just feel like they are not being set up for success whatsoever. Well, other than the ones that they're pushing forward. But,
No,
we're going to get
no,
to
no.
that here by the end of the episode, obviously. But something else I wanted to kind of bring up, and you brought this up last week, and I really felt it this week. And it's the drama in the workroom is not only so contrived, but it feels just fake, just so fake. And this episode, especially, there were like 2 points of tension, I guess, in the workroom, and we could kind of start with the one that I felt was building off of last week, just another kind of the more produced one, I guess you could say, because it just does not feel realistic at all. And this is this whole situation with like Bones in page 3, because as you remember last week, they were like mortal enemies until we get to Untucked, and they're best friends. And now this episode, apparently, like they are like the mean girls with Silllexa Diction and Elle Vosk, and I'm just like, initially I was kind of excited because I was like, "Ooh, are we actually going to get a Heather storyline? Are these girls going to start being a little bit shady?" But they're literally just sitting there, and then everybody else is all mad, and I'm just like, "Oh,
I
where
mean,
is this coming from?"
I will
Just
give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe we're not seeing some of the stuff. Maybe not everyone's crazy. Maybe they're just not doing a good job. Well, we know they're not doing a good job editing, so maybe they forgot to put this
not at
part
all.
in too. But I I just don't know what is going on in this game. Let's call it a game. It's not a competition. Maybe this is not a competition. This is a reality show. This is not a game. This is just like whoever feels like whatever they want to do will do that. And I was like, okay, here we are. And honestly, I don't even know what we're doing in here because it's just I have feelings about the challenge. I have feelings about the runway. I have feelings about this drama. How I don't understand it. And then the most interesting quote unquote drama that happened actually occurred in Untucked, in my opinion. So I'm just like, it was all over the place. And I get it. Bones, page 3, Selects Addiction. They've all done consistently well for the most part. They've all either been in the top or safe, even if they didn't always deserve it. L. Um, but Selexa's nervous because she hasn't had any judging, and I feel like that's a little shady that they haven't given her any time. And then we
I
see what
felt like it was
happens when
also
we go with
very
Captain.
contrived too with her too when it came with that because like it felt like maybe they were going somewhere with it, but the critiques
Oh
they were
God.
just it's like one of those
If
things where it's like let's figure out one thing that we could kind of focus on to distract everybody from like the actual talent part of it. And they've done this before in other situations. Like it feels like makeovers, right? Where it's like this time we're gonna really focus on like the outfits being the same but different. But now this time we're gonna focus on it being a storyline. But this time we really want to see you actually being matchy matchy. But this time we don't want you to be too matchy. And I'm just like, this one felt like it was all about like the camera angles. And I'm just like, I have never heard this critique before in 90 something seasons of Drag Race, other than when they're like actually filming it and you're like Phoenix in season three. It was just, it felt like they were trying to really do something with Silllexa here. And I don't feel like anybody stumbled as much as they are trying to say that they did. And the things that they're
well,
nitpicking them for, I don't really agree with. So,
let's talk about the Silllexa addiction problem. Sillex's addiction is the new Viola, right? Like they played in Viola's face. They said, "Girl, you gotta go. We don't like you." Sillex's addiction is next, right? Like because they have already decided who they want in the top and the bottom, kind of thing, right? Like, and after her, it'll either she's gonna go next or Chai, or maybe we see a Tayris in the bottom finally, and she'll go soon too. Like, like they've already decided who's gonna be our top six, pretty much. It feels like we kind of know who's going to be there. We kind of know who's probably going to make the top four, and we're probably going to get like a Bonnie and Clyde top five. You know what I'm saying? Like this feels so scripted.
yeah, I definitely agree. And I was gonna say the other thing too. Well, the one thing that didn't feel scripted was Sally's reaction to page three bringing up Katrin and Terrace's flirt mans, and I thought it was hilarious. Loved Sally's face there. But despite all of this, I actually think Tayris might leave this episode for me as like the true maybe standout, just because she really gets to have her emotional moment here, and she got to really open up. And preseason in that Meet the Queens, like she came off as one of the most unlikable people ever. And I'm just like, you could tell that she was putting on a front, and I figured it was maybe because she was actually on this season and maybe she was gonna do the same exact thing. And I'm like, she's not that girl that she put that energy on in the Meet the Queen. So I'm very confused where when she decided to put that on, number one. And two, want to give her a little bit of credit because she's not as cocky or is like as hard as she is on the show in that Meet the Queens segment. Like she's very likable. I feel like she in a lot of ways they kind of maybe I'm gonna just say it because unfortunately we lost our other uh, Black Queen this episode, so it felt like okay, well let's give the other Black Queen some time to shine because we gonna need her to be a part of this story here soon, right? So let's give her her story. So like in a lot of ways, I'm very actually in the kind of opposite vein of you. I actually think this could be the starting point where Tayris could maybe make a little bit of a run, but obviously it's going to have to be a situation where she survives multiple bottoms to get there. But,
Well,
I do think that Tayris could, she has longevity, especially with this whole thing with Katrin. So I kind of think she could actually be here for a few more episodes than maybe you think that she could be here for. But I obviously, I fear for her chances of winning. But what are your kind of thoughts on Miss Terrace here this episode?
Tayris really was very vulnerable and opened up, and I love that she did that. I am a little worried for her though, specifically because I feel like this is the start of this is the continuation of her arc. We get to see her. She's constantly with Katrin talking about their feelings and how they're developing a relationship. And now we've got the like Terrace's backstory, why she is the way she is, and like things that she's gone through. And it's like you can only feel bad for Terrace, or not feel bad. You feel so much like love for Tayris because seeing that vulnerable side, it's like it was real. It was like this wasn't some scripted shit. This was something that like she really went through. You saw the tears like flowing down her eyes. Like you could tell this like was hard for her to talk about, but it was important. She needed to, and I really enjoyed that. That was probably my favorite part of the episode. Actually, was getting to see Tayris because she is so much more funny and less serious than she was in the promo, which makes me kind of worried for what happens in this season. And I'm worried they're going to play in her face.
Well, it could also be a season two or a thing two where maybe she actually does really well, and that's why she comes off a little cocky, right? That was the other
Could
thing I was
be.
kind of thinking. And that was my
I
initial
mean,
assumption is why she was coming off so cocky is that she probably goes pretty deep. So I'm like, I mean, I'm not going to ever be surprised if she gets cut beforehand for obvious reasons. We are talking about UK, but
well, here's my issue with her. The idea of her going deep is when they ignored her during that performance challenge last week. I was like, oh, it's over because it was clear she was killing it, and they basically were like, "Tayris who?" And I was like, "God damn."
I mean, true, but there was other queens, and we'll talk about it when we get to the judging here, that they've been pushing this whole season, and they had an opportunity to give them a win, and then they didn't do it. So I'm just like, okay, um, who knows what they're actually really thinking, honestly, because I can never make any sense about what they're trying to like do here. So like it may seem in some ways I feel like we might know who the top six could be or whatnot. Like it feels like very obvious who they're pushing, but then we get to certain moments and they're just not following through, I guess, all the way with certain people. So I'm very excited to get to the judging here, so we can be less cryptic. Again, Jack and I haven't watched the episode together, so we're kind of we're dancing around our criticisms right now. So I'm excited to kind of get to the judging.
Let's.
Do you want to just go ahead and get there because I think I'm ready. There's nothing else I have any notes here until we like the runway and whatnot. So,
I mean, you want me to start with the runway because it's messy and stupid,
well, I mean, I don't
or
really want to talk about this one, but because it was all mess and no yes. The category was Ab-Fab, Night of a Thousand Sweetie Darlings, and I mean, obviously, neither of us are British. We do not get the reference. We do not know the show,
well, I know
and
the
I kind of
show,
wish
but
that they could. Well, okay, you know the show. I don't know the show,
I
but
don't know anything really about the show. I've heard of the show. I know the actress in it because she looks a certain way, and if you've seen this kind of archetype before, she's like one of the people in this archetype of this blonde power shot or like power bomb kind of a character, right?
like
Yet
a
she's
bombshell kind of thing.
not a bombshell.
It's
See,
a
I
power
tried.
bomb.
I'm like she has a big personality, and there is times where she's supposed to be like sexy and stuff, but it's really more of it's not so much about the sexy, it's more so about the comedy and whatnot's going on. So that's like the kind of hard part where I'm not really sure what the term is, but like it's just a really messy show. And I enjoy that it's messy and whatnot, but her character is just her character is almost like the British version, I would say, of like a Fran's Drescher or something like that, right? Where
Okay,
you're
I
kind
mean,
of
I
just
could
like
feel that. I could see that
people love
energy.
her, but maybe not always for the right reasons. And you know, but this
Right.
let's go back to
It's
this runway. It doesn't matter. This
yeah.
runway was one of the worst things ever because to me, I was like, I don't like these Night of a Thousand if we're not going to do like really good looks. So to do Night of a Thousand on looks that are some of the worst things ever in the history of the world is crazy. Let's start at like the
Why
worst
couldn't they
of the
even like
worst.
include reference looks too with this as well? Because like it's like if you're gonna do this, like at least
Oh
show us the
yeah.
look so at least we know what they're trying to do. Because like Espana did really well with that last week. Like we had no idea what was going on, but they at least showed us the look that they were trying to recreate or they were trying to use. Like here we had no reference, so it's like I don't know what's going on and it's all hideous. So I'm just like I literally could put everybody just as a mess. So Jack, you have fun with this one because this will go down as
Okay.
probably my least favorite runway category of the year for sure.
Okay, so here, let's start it off really easy. Katrin Feelings is in the bottom. It's not a question. Yes, the outfit was in a reference. Yes, it kind of made sense, blah, blah, blah. It is ugly. It is terrible. It is awful. And that's kind of what the characters you're supposed to be. The category could have just been like the ugliest outfit you've ever seen, right?
Was she the
It's,
one that said that she came out and it was supposed to be ill-fitting and it like oh it's supposed to look like this and be terrible? I think she was the one that said that, right?
I don't remember. I was too gobsmacked during the episode to be like, I'm being forced to watch this. Also, the seam at her pants where the pattern connects, it's really done poorly, and you can see how like some of it's just like not lining up properly, and it really hurt my eyes the whole time. I was like, that is so ugly. Because you have like one of the circle patterns starting and the other one halfway through, and it's like, I don't like this. But I just everything about it's bad. Everything about it is bad. Um, the shoe is terrible. The scarf, the red scarf thing, is probably the best thing on this whole look, and everything else, I'm like, just scrap it. Like, it was so bad. And the worst part is, it's only number three from the bottom for me because let's talk about El Vosk. The idea was kind of funny at first, but it was literally just an oversized t-shirt, right? It was an oversized t-shirt with two faces on it and some hanging glasses with a very funny wig.
I
And
hated
yes,
the wig. I hated the wig. I'm sorry. I
I
hated the wig.
loved the wig for
I
like
hated
the
it.
draggy, campy version of it. I said, okay, so that's kind of fun. But then she had another face on the back, and I was like, your outfit is so boring. Like, I will say, I like the styling. I loved that she had what are those called? The iron band thing, bracelets. They had the brown, light brown, and the light brown, light brown, and it even reversed the thickness of them, so it was very good. I loved the red shoe because it goes perfectly with this hair. And if her lips had been a little bit more red, it would have been perfectly with that. And also the hanging glasses, I guess, were funny because like it looked good on it, but it was a t-shirt and it was bad. And the only reason it's below is because I just think it was so boring, and we've seen such lame drag like this already. But number one, the only person worse than her has to be Bonnie and Clyde. This is terrible. This made me want to like punch the screen kind of thing. I was like, not punch it. I wanted to like punch it out of my memory, Like I was like, take this away from me, please God. I don't care if this is what she looked like. It was a red like leotard bodysuit thing with these awful shoes, by the way. These shoes should be burned. The dress should be burned. The pattern on the dress, they said it was like a one for one. And I said, why do an outfit of someone else's without being able to show your own look? Like, I want girls to interpret the drag and make it their own kind of thing. Like, that's what I was kind of hoping for. And someone who did do that kind of was Sally, and I hated her outfit still. Like, I didn't hate it, but I was like, I wasn't here for it. And the girls were going crazy for it. I was like, I'm not a fan. Get rid of it. But to be fair, most of these outfits sucked. So, you know,
It was one of those categories where, like, ugliest dress, where I'm like, I don't know how to judge this because it's just like, this is all terrible, like, references. So is it supposed to be a situation where it's supposed to look bad? Am I supposed to
uh,
give that credit? I don't
yeah,
know how
it
to
feels
judge
like
this.
that. It feels like that, right? Let's talk about the standouts, though. In my opinion, I think Bones stood out once again. She's shaped like a cigarette. She had the puff of smoke coming out of her hair. It was perfect. It was done well. I mean, it's kind of awful, but at the same time, you know what it is, and so that's what makes it so fun. We got the red nails matching the red purse, matching the little red ashes, cinders of the cigarette. Even the shoe is as close of a color as you can get to that fabric that she used, and you can see those strips that make up the cigarette. It was really well done. It's a little campy. It's not like the best thing ever, but it's fun, right? It's a great look if you're going to do this category. Page three. She really said, okay, we're going to make this fashion. We're going to the slopes, but then we're also going to wear no pants. And I was like, okay, so it's kind of a leotard, but it's a whole on experience with this amazing like skiing outfit, right? And you're just like, oh, this is fun. You see her hair is huge. It's got the sunglasses in it, and then she pulls up uh, the fur hood kind of thing, and all the cigarettes dangling. You can tell this character is very about that. The shoes match perfectly, and they even have the fur around it themselves. She has the gloves on. It's so fun. It's a great outfit. I think this is a great way to like, if you're gonna pick an outfit that at least looks good, or you can at least translate into something that's going to look good. And this is an example of something. It was made cleanly. It looks good. You see, like the seatbelt thing used as the belt. It was all good. There was elements that you could pick out of here, and you could put on anything. One girl I want to mention really quickly, who the girls hated, the judges hated this. Silllexa Diction, I refuse to say her dress was bad. Someone said to me, "Oh, it's not draggy enough," and I said, "I have seen a million girls come down here with something more simple and less put together than this, and girls say they loved it." So no, we're not doing that. The perfect cutoff of the above the wrist on this, the little shoulders that extend out, and just the great like cupping of her body into this hourglass shape. She really has a V shape down to her waist, and then it kind of plumps out, kind of thing, back down. And the stripes of purple are just so fun because they're asymmetrical, yet they're in the same area. They cut across the body how they're supposed to, but at different lengths, and it's intentional. It just felt fun. The earrings could have been a little nicer, and the wig, it's the character she's going for, so I don't blame her. And then finally, another shout out to Neon Bella. This look was everything. Like Nia Bella did amazing in this look. Everything was perfect. I loved that she was playing this character. She said, "Okay, you're gonna make me do something ugly. Well, I'm still gonna make it cute and fierce." And they were like, "Oh, it's too sad." I was like, "Girl, I looked up reference photos for this person that she was in doing. The girl was sad 24/7. Okay, the girl was sad 24/7. She did it right." But again, they were hating on her from day one. They still hating on her now. But definitely our top four of the week, in my opinion, were those four. I think they all captured a different element of this. And other than that, the runway is let's not talk about it ever again.
I mean, I can't believe you went through that whole segment and you didn't say Thursday once, Jack.
I swear to
Once.
God, it was not that funny. But I get it. It's a British humor thing. I don't like British humor that much. It's just a cultural thing. I get it. It's just not for me.
Well, one thing British that I know that you love, Jack, is Alan Carr. So I know that you love the fact that he got to play like the Fabio character in each one of these Mother Tucker segments. So we're gonna run through them one at a time here, because it was a three-part miniseries, apparently set in the world of 1980s erotic fiction, directed by, of course, Marcel Visage. And our first team here in episode one, Plucky Bitches, were again the supposed mean girl uh, quadruplet trio or quadruplet group of
Quadruplet
Bones.
trio, yes.
Yeah, that's we love what we brand here. Bones, Elvosk, Silllexa Diction, and Page 3. And I will say I do understand some criticism of Silllexa Diction because she was a little bit off for me, a little messy when it came to like her character. It felt like she was a little playing catch up to like the scenes where like Bones would say something that she had to be the one that would do something afterwards. And I don't know if she did anything really for me to stand out in comparison to Bones. And every single time like they would like do something where they would be like slapped or like be dramatic. Like she was like the hair was always in her face, and I don't
Yeah.
think that was her fault per se, because I don't know how many takes they actually had. It felt like they went out of their way to use her messy takes,
It was
but
clearly that. It was
you
clearly
know,
that.
but it was also one of the things where it's like if you do it, it's happened, so they can use it against you. It's like anything you say or do can be used against you, right? Apparently, something Wong apparently sang to her ad libs in her Asian A performance, but they edited it the other way. Who knows these conspiracy theories? Or at least the excuses they're using afterwards. But like, I don't know. Like she was the only person in this one that felt like slightly awkward. But I don't even know if I would say she was even that bad. But I
No, she
do
wasn't.
think she was probably the weakest of this group. I will say that.
I I agree she was probably the weakest, but it's what you said. They used her worst takes. You can't tell me you sat there and directed that and didn't tell her, "Hey, we're going to redo that because your hair was in your face. Just make sure it doesn't do it this time." And you cannot tell me that they didn't redo that multiple times. And if they didn't redo that multiple times, you have no business directing. Let's be real. Because you're not paying attention to what's going on, because clearly not. And also this whole her not looking at the camera thing. I think that's so overplayed and overdid. Let me look at the camera and break the fourth wall so I can tell you. No, 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 no. I want the scene to feel a little more natural, right? And if we're gonna make fun of it and look at the camera and stuff, it better have some really good zingers. But really, what was going on here was like you said, it was a complete sabotage. There was a saboteur, and it was not inner this time. It was the outer saboteur of the judges and production. Like, this was a mess. Silllexa did not deserve a bottom three placement here. They're just lining her up to be one of the next girls to get rid of, and that's going to be her storyline. Is she didn't do well enough, or they'll give her a win and then immediately send her home. Like the redemption arc thing that we've seen a million times. I think this group was by far the best to me. To me,
I mean, to be fair, Slexa might have been bottom three. She wouldn't have been bottom two for me though.
that's
I
true. That
I
part.
think she probably would have been bottom. But I also think if I was actually really really judging this season, I mean, who knows what the people that actually might be here might not based off of like my personal feelings. She probably wouldn't even be close to being the bottom three. So probably be someone else here that would probably be worse than her. That could probably be there, but who knows? Who knows? That maybe that's for another video. But let's go to group two, where we have Bonnie and Clyde, Tayris, Mungardi, and Sally trademark in Tucky Bitches. And Jack, I'm gonna let you go first here. Tell me about your thoughts about episode two. Because we have
I
our
hated
winner
it.
here, Bonnie. And
I
someone else
I
who's to
hated
talk,
it.
Sally.
I hated this group. I could not get over how annoying Sally was, and I did not think her lines were delivered well at all. And I even in the final, I was like, she wasn't funny, and everyone was like, she's so hilarious. And I was like, where? Where was the funny? Let me know. And Bonnie did a good job as a lot of rides, give her that. And I think Tayris did a fine job. But Sally brought this down for me so much. I didn't even know what Sally was saying half the time, which I kind of understood was part of her character. But she didn't say any of the lines right. What is going on? You can't fuck up all these lines and say, oh, it's cool when you do it, Sally, but it's not cool when she does it. Like, how many times have we said a million? How many times have we said the I was rooting for you? How many times did they do that take over and over again just to put her in the bottom because she never got that right? And they said, it was funny that you weren't doing it right, but you are in the bottom because you weren't doing it right. How many times did she struggle on that challenge to be the first girl to go home because she couldn't say that line correctly? But when Sally doesn't even get the bag of chips line correct, I was like, did you even watch the show? She's
Ooh.
like, much better. And I was like, she put all the emphasis on the first word, which is like, I think it was like now much better or something. I don't really remember what the whole thing was, but the whole time she was ignoring the much better and just doing the first one, and I was like, that's not what the line is. And I even told her, and in the end, she never got any of the references and things right. It felt like, and they were like, but you're in the top, baby girl. After they gave her negative critiques, and I was like, what? I thought I was crazy. I thought I was crazy because I was like, oh, Sally's in the bottom this week. Like, that's going to be interesting. No,
Yeah, I will say, Jack, I do agree with you. I was very surprised that they really, really liked Sally's take here. And just listening to Rue have her laugh track played over and over again whilst she was playing stuff, and like number one, I couldn't tell even what Sally was saying half the time. So I agree with you there. Like I was having a very hard time understanding her, but then she just basically just kind of like stood there and did like the Blair St. Clair shiver without the like the shh part. That was literally what
hmm
she was doing the entire time. She never moved. She didn't, and even when she went down and went up, like she still stayed in one spot. And I'm just like, I don't get it. Like I would have been fine even if she was bottom three and they didn't even put her in the bottom two and they're just like, hey Sally, we need to talk to you because
yeah,
I've been a Sally fan this whole time. Like I was laughing a little bit at her girl group. I was like at that point I was like, okay, you can have a little bit of a pass
that was
because
a
you've been
bottom.
fine.
That was a bottom
It was a
performance
bottom
too.
placement, but it was also a situation where I'm like, I could see why you could just be safe because you've been doing good up until that, and you are one of the better fashion queens that we have this season. So I don't want to see Sally leave, but I also want it to be fair and for people to get critiques when they really should get critiques. And it's a situation where it's like if you're going to constantly give people like passes in certain situations, I don't know. Like I just I mean maybe I can't really say that because I do love Alyssa Edwards and she does get a pass here and there in certain situations. So is what it is, but I think we also need to be very kind of at least aware of our biases in certain situations. So if you could at least be like, hey, Sally, normally, or like maybe like this is like Alexi Love when she got the top for failing in the snatch game kind of thing, where it's like you're still funny regardless, whatever, but like still. You need to give like some honest truth of that as well too, because I don't think they were as honest with Sally as they really should have been. The only thing they said is that you couldn't hear her words, which is true, but she also needs to do more. She can't just sit in one spot and not do anything. So like, yeah, I agree with you. I do think Sally was in the bottom as well. And going back to Bonnie, forgot about her because she didn't really even like show up until this episode. I feel like, um, um, I
Yeah,
could
she
see
was in
why
the
she
bottom
was
one,
at the
but
top. I see why she was in the
yeah.
top. So I understand why she won. But I will say that it felt like she also did have, out of every single part, the biggest role out of everybody. So it felt
Hmm.
like a situation where like she had that I mean she had that whole scene where Tayris was basically stuck behind a desk and she was throwing who's a doll who wasn't even the same body color, like, oh.
It was a
Come
mess.
on. Come on. But anyway, um like so she had basically that whole part to work with. So I get why she won. But I'm a little surprised because I don't think she gave me the best true performance of the night. And I think you might be surprised with who I'm going to say should have won here. It's going to sound very ass backwards, but let's talk about group three because that's where my winner pick was. And that was Katrin Feelings, Chai Tea Grande, and Neil Bella in Mucky Bitches. And I personally thought Katrin was the best. I'm
I
sorry.
agree with you. I agree with you
Okay,
100%.
thank you. Okay, I don't feel so bad now. But why didn't they give her the win? They've been pushing her this whole season. They have an opportunity to give her an obvious win, and then you do not give it to her. I'm so confused. So
I'm
confused.
wondering if this is a pushing her towards a mental breakdown situation now, or what we're pushing her for, or if she's going to be a girl who like does consistently well the whole time and like doesn't get a badge or gets only like one badge and then like at the end she still makes the final two. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see that's for her. But this acting challenge, she shined so hard for me. I was like, this is so good. But you know what? I have to say something. Mia and Bella was not in the bottom.
No, she wasn't at all.
She was so funny. I was like, oh, I love her character. She did everything correct to me. They said, you're not looking at the camera enough. I was like, let me talk to the people right there, but just look directly into the camera. No, shut the fuck up. This was a whole setup again to get her out. I cannot believe I was so mad. And Chai Grande earned her spot in the bottom two and then wasn't even in the bottom two. I was like, I thought the bottom two was going to be Chai and Sally, honestly. I really
Same.
thought, I was like, this is the bottom two. Nia and Bella's in the top. They said that was funny. They loved her look on the runway. And that's what I thought was going to happen, right? Like, I was like, everyone loves her look. We thought she was funny in the challenge. She's going to be in the top two or
Which
top
is
three.
annoying because like last week they're like, young Bella, this is like a new start for you. Like this is a whole new beginning. You're in the bottom. And I'm like, okay,
Oh
well,
my
maybe they're
God.
gonna give her some credit this week, okay? And then they didn't even do it this week. And I'm just like, there was an awkwardness to I think it was the just because she got the critique that she needed to look at the camera. And it felt like she didn't know 100% what to do because of that critique. So there was a little awkward moments where it felt like she was kind of looking, kind of not. Like I did feel that energy just like slightly, but I still think I had such a better time with her and enjoyed her performance much more than Chai's. Like Chai's was just
Oh,
very much so line reading until she got to the very, very end. And the very last line she gave was good, but like up everything up till that, like no, it wasn't good. I'm sorry. I Chai should have been in the bottom two.
this
Easily.
she should have. And
Easily.
they even said it themselves. They were like, you didn't even really show up until that final line. And I was like, wait, wait, wait. So a girl who delivered all of her lines well, you found her entertaining. You said she had a good runway, but she didn't look at the camera, deserves to be in the bottom. And then they said, Silllexa, you did a great job. Your physical comedy was great. You just didn't look at the camera. You two were in the bottom. I was like, am I drunk? Like, what is going on? I don't know. Something's in the tea over in the UK. I don't know if someone's being bribed, they're being paid off. I don't know what's going on. Chai Tea Grande, I thought for sure was gonna be the bottom because of her placement in last episode too. I was like, wait, girls were like, well, Nia Bella hasn't been doing well enough, right? And I'm like, but Chai's been in the bottom twice now too. So like, where are we at with that? And they were like, no, 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 no. Chai's safe. And I was like, wait, this is Sillexa's first timing in the bottom, but Chai is now two bottoms in, and you're gonna keep her safe?
It's because they need to
Ridiculous.
send Chai home during Snatch Game because that's when they send home their Slation Queens or during
That
Snatch
is
Game.
true. I didn't think
So
about that. I did
yeah,
not think about
I
that.
was like, oh, I guess we gotta save her for the Snatch Game elimination because that's how they do. I'm just like,
I'm not looking forward to any of it. I don't want to know. I'm like, get rid of it, throw it away, send it all home. Like, it's terrible. And then we end up with this bottom two of Annabella versus Lex Addiction. I don't want either of them to go home. And then they both give good performances.
you're right. I like the song too. Like it was a good song choice
Yeah,
as well too. Like I was very into this lip sync. I do feel like they under edited Sillexa's, which is weird, but then they also made sure to emphasize the point where young Bella lost her shoes, which I was like, oh, I feel so
but she,
bad. But it like she performed through it, which I don't. I'm not. It was not nearly like a pasty moment. Pasty,
no, 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 no. It was so good because
pasty,
the only reason she lost her
pasty.
shoes. Yes,
I'll
you
get
got there.
Pasty's name right eventually.
Yes, you did get there. Applause. But no, like it was like, oh, this is going well, and then she does a slide, and it was like this big moment. And we're like, oh yes, this is amazing. But because she did the slide, the shoes fell off because of it, and I was like, oh. And they like wrapped around her ankles while she's moving, and she's still doing it. And I was like, at least she didn't take off her shoes on purpose like half these other girls, you know? Like she didn't just take off her shoes. She had them basically taken off because she did a good move and it made sense to the song. And we were at the end of the song anyway, so fuck it. Like I didn't I mean, look, we all knew they were sending her home, right? We all knew she
Yeah,
had
the
been in the
writing was on
bottom
the wall.
3 times already, and she won every single time. And then it came to this, I was like, you know, they're gonna keep Addiction over her, like regardless of if they don't give her much of an edit, other than some confessionals here or there, they're still not gonna give us Niambella. Like, and here's the craziest part: she's like the most likable character of everyone here, basically. And
Easily.
you're cutting her this early when you're bringing other girls that you call charisma picks, basically, who have charisma at a negative in comparison. And I don't understand this whole, oh, well, her drag isn't polished enough, so we shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. Girl, if drag had to be the most polished thing ever and we cared about the runway, because let's act like we care about the runway for a second, since we don't in this game, and we all know that they don't care about it on this game of this competition show, that they call it that, even though it's a reality show. Um, how many girls have made it all the way to the end with bad drag? So many. And honestly, I just think that they want to send her home because she's too young. And I think that would have been a perfect idea to do it later in the competition. And it would have made sense. But she is like the angel from Philippines 3 that we didn't get.
I
She would have
mean,
made it
I will
all the way
say
to the end.
this. I'm very happy Young Bella is eliminated here because now she can get away from RuPaul. She could actually get on like a versus the world season with a cast that will actually really appreciate her. She'll have a
Can
little
we
bit of
get a
time here to
Canada?
grow, have a little bit of like time to get a little bit of coin, a little bit of change, make sure that she gets a little bit more like, with her, she'll have some more connections. Like, I'm very excited to see Neon Bella return because I think like she said, she's only been doing this for 2 years. She already has the charisma when it comes down to it. So, anyway, like, I'm I'm gutted that she is taken out this early, but again, it's like I can't be surprised based on what franchise she's on.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm trying to put that into perspective, and I'm also just, I mean, this whole season's like a total flop regardless. So it's like, it doesn't surprise me that they decided to get rid of one of the actual characters that was bringing life to the season and then, just completely just go down this train wreck to wherever that they're deciding to head to. So, like, I'm looking at the positives here because I don't see how Nyang Bella doesn't return. I just don't. She's definitely someone that I feel like it has a vibe of like returning for sure. She has a redemption arc. There's a lot of things that could possibly happen with her. So I don't think this is going to be the last we see of her for sure. So
I don't think so either, and I think honestly, we have to we have to really think that if she, let's hope she's picked up for something else. Um, if there is a maybe like I don't know what it's gonna be. You know, we all just heard about like the Latina Royale coming out, and like we're all excited for that, right? Um, I hope they do one for like black queens or at least like queens of color specifically. Um, so she can maybe end up on there. Maybe she can end up on Canada versus the world or the Down Under versus the world next season kind of thing. Because like I don't want her near RuPaul ever again. I don't want RuPaul to set a fucking foot inside of UK drag. You might as well cancel the seasons and tell the girls to go over to France or tell them to go over to Spania or go to Sweden. Like, go anywhere else, girl. I'm so sorry. UK is, you guys are killing that franchise into the ground. Like, ugh.
it's so rough. It's so rough. Like I want to say
But
that I want to be excited for next week because we do have like the talent show and I mean
no,
Lavoie's back.
trash.
I like Lavoie. I'm excited to see Lavoie next week, but
Talent shows are a
like
setup, baby.
it's I don't know who they could be setting things up for anymore because I don't know where they're even deciding to go in the season because the only person now that it feels like they have given like great critiques to that they've pushed outside of like my personal opinion and maybe like at least what I've seen in the opinion in the sphere out there, the Twitterverse, is Elle Vosk because she's the only person that's gotten like a win, and then like in situations where I don't see her winning, she's gotten like top placements and whatnot. But then at the same time, though, too, like they could have given her a top this week because I thought she did really well. I thought she was one of the better ones in her group, and there she was just safe. So I don't know who they are actually trying to push. I don't know who they're actually rooting for. I don't know what they're actually watching because the footage that they're giving us is not matching anywhere near what they're like trying to say is happening in this critique here. So I don't know. I'm everything about this whole season is just it's just such a flop. Like again, it's not the queens, but when we have this whole
Well,
like
there's
it's
a
not
few
on all of
queens.
the queens. It's not on
Not on all
all
of
of the
them, but
queens.
I need to
Okay.
bring up something that happened this episode
Okay.
that gave
Go
me
for
the
it.
ick. I was like, ugh, don't give me the ick. And I got the ick. Um, so, in the Untucked, not a bitch crying about being in the top. I could not. I was like, what is going on? No! I was so mad. I was so mad. Sally's like, I just always feel like I'm never good enough and I'm so different, even though I make myself be different so I can stand out and I'm different because of it. And I was like, wait. You specifically do weird drag where you stand out and you feel like because you're weird, you get alienated and or isolated because you don't do the same kind of drag, and now you're sad about it. I was like, so do you want to stand out, or do you just want to be in the group of all the girls doing the same kind of drag, or do you want to like I don't know what's going on because she's like, I just didn't know that I would ever be accepted, and it feels like no matter what I don't feel good enough, and I'm like, this is a lot of emotion for a girl in the fucking top three when you got these bitches over here who know they're in the bottom three who have no point in being there, and they pretty much know that they're gonna have to lip sync even though Chai T Grande is right there and should have been lip syncing for her life against you. So like I was so mad, and I just felt like it was so ugh. Like I did not like it at all. I just got the nastiest vibe from that. I was like, ugh, I'm not fucking with that. Like I'm
The
sorry. I
way I
know
did
y'all
not
like
expect
Sally.
Sally to become your Susie Toot for this season. Your oh my
Not my
god.
Susie Q. She's just
Like
what
what?
she did there was so
No, I get it. I
off-putting.
get it. Like
It was so
it's like
off-putting.
it's really hard to feel sad with somebody when you get nothing but good critiques, especially when you get nothing but good critiques when you probably shouldn't have gotten those critiques. So, like, there's something about Sally, and it feels like maybe she came in with a little bit of, I don't want to say a facade, but Alexis Michelle is famous for wanting to like produce herself, right? Make sure that you see like the side of her that you want to see. And maybe I feel like that side of Sally that she came in with the first couple of weeks is maybe slipping a little bit. And we're kind of seeing like this other side to her. And I don't mind it because it makes somebody well rounded. She's young still. She's in her 20s. We're all still learning. So, like, I don't want to hate on her too much because you're all allowed your emotions and whatnot. But,
Sure.
like, it is rough to kind of, uh, especially when we're feeling for young Bella. And her being her bottom, like, the third time, like, 4 episodes, which is like, oh my god, I cannot deal with still. But, like, yeah, I see what you mean, but I
I mean,
also kind of want to have sympathy for Sally because I do enjoy her.
they were giving her all the flowers in the world. They were blowing smoke up her ass. They were like, "Do you need anything, girl? We got you. We got you. Fine dining and catering. Nia and Bella, get to it, or else we're gonna throw you back in the dumpster." And then they still threw her in the dumpster, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" I
But it's a
was
new
just
day, Jack. It's a new day.
no, it's not a new day. It's not a new dawn. It's not a new everything. This is just mess on mess on mess on mess. I was not here for it. I could not. I thought it was so off putting. And I don't even mean to be hateful. I just need to bring attention to it. I need it to be brought attention to because I don't think any bitch is going to tell her. I really don't think anyone is going to tell her. And the other people can disagree with me. Everyone can disagree and say I'm the only one that feels this way. But bitch, it was not the ish. It was the ick. And I was like, ugh. I was like, this is rough. And if that wasn't bad enough, she had just been talking, right? She was the one that was talking about like other girls not paying attention in the competition or something. I don't know. I wasn't here for it. And it was also hard to watch. Wasn't she the one talking about like, I don't know why they're in a love thing? Like, I was like, oh, I don't know why you're crying. Like, bitch.
Well, Jack, I was gonna ask for some like final words to help me like stay motivated through this
Those were the
season.
final
But
words.
like, yeah, I was like, I feel like that might be maybe Sally trademarks like heel turn here. Like maybe she's gonna have like a last minute Susie 2 or heel turn, and we could all just like be here for her
No, she
being like
can't be
villain
the
of the
Susie 2
season.
because Susie 2 was like, okay, this is a nice way of putting it. Susie 2 was some white mediocrity that was really being celebrated. Sally
Hmm?
has done more than that. And I don't mean to be super critical and mean to Susie 2 out here for no reason, but as an understanding of why I have an issue with Susie 2, and you all can love her. I'm not saying you can't enjoy her. I just felt like a lot of other girls were overlooked, and I won't get over the fact that girls put on much better outfits on this runway, and yet we still had to hear about her amazing pink clown look. I was gagged. I was duped.
You
But
will
I
hold that
saw it
clown look against
coming.
her forever.
Well, and it's not even that the look was that bad, but it was the fact that it was celebrated and other girls were like letting her have it, being like, "This is trash, mama," and then other girls in the workroom who were getting treated well were like, "You know what? She is killing it, and she should say it because the judges said it." I was like, "What the judges say is not always 100% the truth, and what the judges always say is might be the only thing that matters, quote unquote, in the competition." But I'll let you know straight up that I would rather wear a good outfit and be told it's trash than wear a decent outfit and be told it's the most amazing thing ever and have bitches lie to me straight to my face because at least I know if a bitch is telling me the tea or not.
I mean, that does actually kind of fit well with the season because I feel like that's kind of what's happening here is that we have people telling certain queens that they're doing amazing when I don't think the majority of people think that they are, and we have certain queens getting eliminated who I don't think probably the mass majority of people have wanted, other than Pasty. Look, I got it right. I got her name right finally. Well, you know. At this point, I don't know what else we could. I mean, I'm sure we could say a lot more, but
We
I
don't
don't
need
really
to.
want to
They
talk
don't need a
about the
longer
season
episode.
anymore.
No,
Yeah, and I guess I
they
can't wait
know.
for this all to be over. I mean, I can't wait to see how this all turns out. Yay! And
I
hopefully
can't wait to
you
see this
can't
season end.
either. Yeah. Thank y'all again for listening. If you made it this far again, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. Let us know
And
how
I'm
much
so
you don't
sorry
like
you
the
watched
season
the
as well
episode too.
too. Yeah, right. Can we all just have a pity party in the comments and just like embrace each other and just like try to have like some sort of like maybe that's what we'll do. We'll turn the comment section into like a support group for us trying to get through this season. Those of us that are just completionists, because that's
No,
what's happening
no,
right
I
now.
need everyone to name in the comments who you think deserves to win the season so far and who you're rooting for. For me, at this point, it's Bones. I think Bones is doing a great job, and that's the one positive I'm going to say about the season. She's killing it, and she deserves to be there, and she should win.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's the only saving grace we have for this season. But I don't know how much contrived drama I could stand with her to get to that point. So,
Hey, it's not her making the drama. It's not
oh,
her
it's not
making the
her,
drama.
but I'm just saying it's this. I'm very excited to see the UK7 uh, IMDb polls, like the overall review of the season when it's done. Because oh, these numbers, I cannot wait to see how low they are.
Uh,
But, you know, maybe next episode will change things. And maybe we'll be back on the next podcast saying amazing things about season 7. So,
no, we
let's
won't.
remain positive. Yeah.
We will not be. There's no chance in
Well,
hell. Take that shit outside.
well, until our next shit talk session, and on behalf of my co-caster QuackerrJack, this is Renegayde signing out. Remember, keep it fun, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Cheerio.